8:40 is the time in the studios of Q95. You stay right there. We're coming back with tonight's In the Spotlight radio show. (8:41). A pleasant good evening to one and all. Welcoming you in a special way to tonight's In the Spotlight radio show. We are live on Q95 FM radio, and we are also live via the In the Spotlight radio and the TV show's Facebook platform. Go there if you want to view, stick around on the radio if you just want to listen. Whatever choice you make, we promise you that tonight's program is going to be one for the record books. Let me use the opportunity before we start to just say good evening again to all the listeners and viewers of the program. It is a beautiful Monday night right here in Dominica. Before we proceed, I just want to advise, I love transparency, especially when people take their hard-earned cash and put it in my possession. And some really good-hearted persons decided to do that. By now, you would know the story of our Classroom Ready, Set, Go scholarship initiative started by a listener and a supporter of the In the Spotlight radio show. She started off with a $500 scholarship, and a simple word to her, what do you think if we ask other persons to come on board to join us? And she said, no problem, Fidina. And so I did it. I did a video, I sent out WhatsApp messages, and before you know it, we had 7 US $500 scholarships. And I'm here to say that as of Saturday, we have done the presentation to the 7 students who are moving on to secondary school. And during the course of this week, when GK decides he gives me the photos and the video, we will give you visibility and pure transparency, of the students who have received the funds, and that they all received their $500 translated to about $1,300 in EC. So thank you again to my super initial donor, initiator, and everyone else who came on board and decided to give some support to us. And I don't have the list with me, but I know that I did put it on my Facebook page. So before we get to the donors, let me see. We have some of our supporters of the presentation event, which took place on Saturday, and I want to say thank you in a big way to Miss Kimberly Arlene and her staff of Organized Me. They're on 8 Castle Street in Roseau, and they can help you organize your office, organize yourself. Just check them out, and they provided us with this really nice cozy room that we could have used to do the presentation. I want to say thank you and good evening to Dawn Seams. I know she tunes in sometimes. Thank you, Dawn, so much for providing the refreshments complimentary. Emil and your team at Deepex, thank you for printing those beautiful mock checks that the recipients will get to keep as a memento. GK, you know the vibe already. GK did our videography and photography, and we're waiting on him. Once he provides us with the official photos and the videos, then we'll do a shortened version, and then we'll make the entire version available to you on YouTube. Francine Jean-Jacques, my colleague, who said, Fedina, whatever help you need, I'll provide, and she chaired the event for us. So thank you, Francine, and thank you to Nadine Sylvester, who did the decor for us for the event. So grateful and thankful to all those of you who did this for the presentation ceremony, and those of you who gave your financial support: Anya Stewart, Burgess Xavier through his daughter Sophia, Daniel Marie, David Joseph, Jeff Bellot, Josephine Dublin, Judy Berry, Judy John Baptist, we know her as Judy Berry on Facebook. Thank you, Judy, for sending some hard cash for us. We appreciate it. Marina Marie, Open Arms Charity, and we had about 5 other anonymous donors who supported us. So we really would like to say thank you. We just started off at 1 and we ended at 7. Let's say next year we can end up maybe at 10, or who knows, maybe 15. So thank you so much, everyone. We deeply appreciate it. And let me just say, remember to become a fan of our In the Spotlight radio and TV show page. We have our group. We also have our YouTube channel. That's on Fedina F. Frampton. Check this out. We want to thank Q95, Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited for providing our water, Callaloo House Restaurant, Dominica News Online, Akim Lowe, Jordan Jerome, and all the friends and supporters of the In the Spotlight radio show. And just to let you know, I know I've been saying, okay, we're going to start with the TV series, limited series. We're definitely starting this Saturday. GK has given me the episode. I have it. It's just a review and make whatever little edits that we need to review. And I'll tell you now, I'll say tonight, our very first guest is going to be Emmeline Ansel, aka Emo. Yes, I got that interview. She's going to be our first one, 8 o'clock this Saturday, only on YouTube and the In the Spotlight radio and TV shows Facebook page. It's going to be a big one. But before that, we're here tonight for the In the Spotlight radio show. My guest has been waiting, and we're going to get going right after this. Sabina, good evening to you, my dear. I hope you're behaving. You messaged me already about the time. You be a good girl tonight for Daddy, okay? Good girl. Good girl, Sabina. Keep it locked. We're coming back.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of life, spotlighting triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of people's politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our fathers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday nights from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
Oh, Yahweh, will make a way for me. I know Yahweh
Do you recognize these people?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You recognize those voices?
Yeah.
And who are these people?
Well, I know we have a choir and so
Right.
many members in that song. I guess Royston was behind that.
I don't know what's behind it. All I know is I got it. It's the Kahal Yahweh Youth Choir.
Yes.
And they did this for you, and I thought it would be nice to start off the program
Yeah.
as with something to put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Right? Good evening to you, Mr. Williams. Lyndell Williams is our guest tonight on the In the Spotlight radio show. And I partly promoted this show as if you want to know about the true strength of a man, then tune in to this program tonight. A fair heading, you think?
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
It's fair.
It's fair.
Mr. Williams, please say good evening to everyone. Welcome to the program.
Well, good evening, Fedina. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to your viewers and listeners on Q95. That's the first time I've been on here on Q95. I mean, I've been on the other radio station for a number of years, every Sunday. But I'm grateful that I'm here, so that people may hear about me, the various things I've gone through in my life, and that how I've overcome, and maybe through what I say, maybe may give some the courage to be even stronger.
And I believe that we're going, I always say on this program, at the end of it, if we can inspire at least one person, motivate at least one person, or help change the perspective and life of one person, that would be 3 people at least.
Yeah.
We would have done something for,
Sure.
and our 2 hours would not have been wasted.
Yes. Okay.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So we're going to start off. I'm going to start off a little tricky way, Mr. Williams. You are known as Patches. All right?
Yeah, sure.
And tell us why you are called Patches.
Okay. As people who don't know me or will see me, that I was born with a birthmark.
Okay.
But that name came about when I was going to attend in the Dominica Grammar School. And that name was given to me by a man named Father Alexander. Maybe I was doing something that was not proper in the class. I think I was in Form 2 at that time, and I think I was a bit troublesome at that time. So I know what I was doing, and they called me Black Patch. They called me Black Patch, and that name remained for me from that time. So, the second form in grammar school, and then it has evolved into many other forms, and finally, a lot of people know me by Patches.
By Patches.
Yeah.
And you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
You don't
I
mind being called Patches.
No.
No. So this is a birthmark.
Yeah.
Tell me what that birthmark put you through over the years. Were you teased? Did people try to make fun of your patch?
Yeah, yes. People did that. Some people maybe did it maybe to embarrass me. Some people it was just fun, boys just having fun. But after a short time, I just forgot and maybe that's why it's my name.
Of course. So Patches, oh gosh, look, I'm going to be calling you Patches.
And my daughter making it even.
Well, she's the one who caused that. I'm blaming her because she's the one who said, she's talking to me and she's saying Patches. Do you understand? So Patches is just stuck here in my head.
Okay.
But Mr. Williams, let us talk a bit. We're going to get to know you a bit. So where did you grow up? Where did you come from? What tell us a little bit about your history. I like to know about the history.
Yeah, no problem. I was born in Vegas.
Vegas?
Yeah. My mother is Theodore Frederick. She's not doing well at the moment. but I pray Yahweh that she gets through. And
What's your mom's name again?
Fiona Frederick.
Okay.
And she was a nurse instructor at the Princess Margaret Hospital, now the China Friendship Hospital. And my father was Alexis Williams. He was the power rep for Vickers, the Vickers constituency for 2 terms.
So pause. Your grandfather or your father?
My father.
Your father was a
A
politician.
politician, yes.
So that is where that other one went into politics. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little later on.
Yes. So my mother, Theodore Frederick, and father, Alexis Williams.
So,
Yeah.
so I always like pausing a little bit and getting to know the parents just a little bit more intimately. So tell us a little bit more about Fiona. You said she's not doing very well right now. I hope she's listening. I hope she's able to at least well enough to maybe already resting.
She wouldn't be able to.
She wouldn't be able to.
Because she suffered a stroke.
Oh,
And
I'm sorry.
Her faculties are not so good.
Okay,
But she
okay.
was a very alert and strong woman and strict woman as many of the nurses at the hospital when she was there. Her glowing remarks of how she disciplined them and caused them to be good nurses and be caring nurses, because she was very caring.
Very caring.
Very
yes.
caring. Yeah.
What do you remember about growing up with your mother before you moved to your daddy? What type of mother was she to you as a son?
Well, my mother, as I can recollect some of it, was that she was a nurse every week. Sometimes on the month end, I would be happy to get her to come to where we were living, at her mother's house. I would always look out for when the truck or the bus would come. So to bring some goodies for us, and that she always kept in touch with my grandmother, who really was very influential between maybe ages 1 and 11 plus. When I left her home, my grandmother, to attend the Dominican Grammar School.
Am I getting this sense that you grew up with your grandparents?
Yeah, my grandparents.
Your grandparents.
Very loving grandparents.
How many of you did your mommy have? How many children?
Well, I think my mother had three of us,
Okay.
but the last one died at a very early age,
Okay.
and it's my sister and myself,
You and your sister.
two of us.
Okay. And is your sister still alive?
Yes, she's alive. She had to come to give me some help because I couldn't bear.
Or to be here this evening?
No, at home.
Okay.
She lives in St. Croix,
Oh.
so she had to come because of what happened.
To help with mom.
To help with mom.
Okay. All right. Let us talk about daddy.
Well, my father. Well,
You chuckle.
what I would say, I knew him as my father,
You knew him as your father.
but the relationship was not that I would say as a real father. I mean, we spoke, and whatever, but the role as a father was not there.
Okay.
My grandfather played that role, and my aunts and so on, they were there. It's more like a family,
Yes.
raised up like a family. That's how it was.
So daddy didn't play an integral role in your life and life growing up.
Not much.
Not much of that. What did that mean to you though? How did that impact you?
Well, it taught me lessons.
It taught you lessons. What
Yeah,
type of
which
lessons?
the lesson that I said that when I grow up, when I'm married, I will be married with my wife and children to watch them and give them the best of care that I could. And that's what I did. So it didn't cause me to feel a negative kind of way. I used that a negative part to assist me in being a better parent.
Because it could have gone either way, eh?
Yeah,
It
yes.
could have been that you would decide, listen, I don't care, I'm not bothered myself, and don't care about, getting married and having that family unit and so on. Or it could have gone the way that you decided.
Yes.
And that was the better way.
That's the better way.
That's the
Yeah.
better way. So tell me a bit more about growing up in Vegas with your grandparents. What did these two people teach you as a boy?
My grandmother told me that I remember quite vividly that what you don't have, don't bother about it. What you don't have, or what you can achieve, or what you see people have, don't be jealous of it. And she always told us to read the education part, because we had many other cousins in the home and whatever. She always taught us that we must read, and the importance of attending school. Sometimes, when we go to school and sometimes the lunch wasn't finished, you say, oh, go ahead. Go back to school, even though you don't have. But later on, you will be able to eat and be satisfied. But she taught us to have discipline and take our schooling important.
Respect, I'm sure, as well.
Oh, yes.
You can have a moment and have a drink while we. So if you're just tuning into the program, we have with us in studios Mr. Lyndell Williams, and Mr. Williams is here to share with us and to share with us on many levels. And so far, you would have picked up from Mr. Williams the things he learned from his mother, the lessons from the absence of a father, and the fact that the absence of the father led him in the direction of ensuring that he wanted to have a family with a wife and children, and to show them the love that probably he didn't feel from that general absence of his father. I got it right so
yes,
far, right?
You
Mr.
have it right,
Williams?
perfectly.
Yes. And we were talking about where were we at just before a quick stop there? We were talking about growing up with
My
grandfather and grandmother and some of the things that they taught you.
Yeah. So I talked about laying from or taking our education seriously, respecting people, and don't be jealous of what others have.
Very, very important point there.
Not be jealous of what others, and whatever we want, we have to work for it. We have to achieve, put effort in whatever we do to be successful.
Life don't come easy. You have to work hard.
Yeah, it wasn't easy neither. I mean, it's true you have become the parents, and my grandfather actually did subsistence farming and so on. So it was not really easy. We were depending on, because we had other cousins there. Each mother would send something to the home, so it made it a little easier. But the life wasn't that easy, but it was bearable.
It was bearable.
It was bearable. She made every effort.
And that's important.
Oh yes.
That's
oh
important.
yes.
That's important.
That's important.
So growing up in Vegas, Vegas is a beautiful village.
Oh sure.
It's actually the home of the Prime Minister of Dominica. I understand that you may be somewhat related as well.
Yes, we are cousins.
Your
His mother, and my mother are first cousins, two sisters.
two sisters' children. So you are cousins.
Very
First cousins. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Very
So let us talk some more about going to school in Vegas and just growing up as a boy, what you did during the summer holidays, that kind of thing. What was it like growing up there as far as you can recall?
As well, I recall. First of all, we were allowed to play in the schoolyard, run around, boys and girls, playing all different different sports, and even at night times, and when it was more like children would, neighbors would meet together, play and whatever it is, and also like I knew that cricket was thing for boys, so I like cricket. We played a lot of sports. During the summer holidays, I practically stayed in the sea. Practically
You were
lived
fish.
here in the sea. I would run quickly, do whatever my grandmother would tell me to do. And one thing she always calls us to we were living very close to the road, to the main road. So we had to get up early morning, 7, sweep out the roadside. Then in the afternoon we had to redo it. We had to do that twice a day. We had to clean our street. But if you go to Vegas now, you will see in front of the homes of everyone spotless.
So it was a practice.
It's a practice, and everybody would clean their front of their yard and keep it clean. Up to now, if you go there now, you see the edges. I mean, the government has improved it, but that was always so that every house, the front yard would be clean and kept spotless. So we had to do that as children, and sometimes before it had a lot of mud, so we had to go and collect stones by the bay, put the stones in front of the yard so we'd have no mud in the yard, and if any leaf or thing fall, make sure we had to take it off and so on. So we had our things to do, we had to wash dishes, we had to do that, and then at school itself there was competition among children, trying to do their best. So the school days were happy days. It was fun days that children could interact now because there were not so much other distractions like the various gadgets and things that we had. They have now and we don't have, but we find innovative ways, like making the scooter with wooden wheels and run on it, and
trucks
and bicycle and wheels, and do all kind of things to have fun. It was not say like children now before they sit down and say, "Oh, it's boring." Life was not boring. It was not boring. We find activities to prevent boredom. But now the only thing they have now is gadgets, and children are not allowed to go out. But I mean, that's several other reasons, because of the crime, people not trusting one another, and so on. But school days were good days.
So modest upbringing, happy days in terms of the summer, learning cleanliness,
Sure.
and just enjoying life as a boy growing up in your community.
Yes.
Primary school.
Primary school?
Where did you go to primary school?
It's in Vegas.
Vegas Primary School.
Primary school.
Is that what it is?
Well, I don't know what name they give.
Okay.
I think they named it after some lady
Okay.
who I never knew about
Okay.
in our history.
Oh.
From my point of view, the other persons in the community after which the school could be named.
Okay.
But that's the government made the decision. That's the decision.
So you went to school, you went to primary school, and then tell us what happened.
And then I got a pass at common entrance, and then followed on to the Dominica Grammar School.
Dominica Grammar School.
I like grammar school because because of the sport.
Because of the sports.
Yes.
So
I chose grammar school.
So you chose grammar school because of the sports.
Yeah.
So before we get into grammar school and the sports, you would then have to move.
Yes, I'd have to move.
To Roseau. Where did you move to in Roseau?
Okay. Well, I moved first of all to the Dominica hostel. I stayed there for a term, and then I went to live with my aunt after.
Okay.
A few years, and then after because my mom at that time I was at the nursing school.
Okay.
So she could not have accommodated me and my sister. Then after she was able to do so, when she moved out, we went to live with her.
You went to live with her.
Yeah, at Lyndell.
Okay, all right. So I know there is always this a story of the students who come from far areas or the urban areas, the rural areas, sorry, that they have to find a way for some type of living when they come down to Roseau to go to secondary school.
Yes.
So for you, it wasn't a full time at the hostel.
No,
it was just a short time.
Short time.
At the hostel. So you chose Dominica Grammar School, which I'm also proud to say is my alma mater as well, and my father and some of my brothers and sisters. And I loved grammar school. I even today, you know, I still love grammar school. And I mean, although I didn't have a choice, I had to go because that was what my father said. And what my father said, you know, I had to apply. So grammar school because of sports. What are you trying to tell us? Are you a sports enthusiast?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and I think Sabina was the same, and my boys, they love sports too.
Well, Sabina said to tell you that you support the worst team in the English Premier League. And to be honest with you, I just so happened to check earlier on the listing, and I see that your team is at number 20.
Well,
what's going on? She said it's about time that you change that.
Oh, no, I won't change.
I know she supports Chelsea.
Chelsea. Well, yes. I told her when Chelsea's played, I support the grass against them.
Oh my goodness!
That's why we don't agree at all.
Oh my goodness! You will support the grass against the team that she supports.
She supports, yeah.
Oh my goodness! What is it about Man United though that you like, and why won't you support Chelsea?
Well, Man U is the greatest football club in the world.
At number 20 now.
Well, that is just,
it's just the
as I told her, Chelsea can only, or what they call it, ça peut pas ni bon pied pour over. So let them run early, but we will catch up.
You think so?
Yes, we'll catch up.
You'll catch up. You have confidence.
Confidence.
How long have you been supporting this team, and why do you support them?
Well, since we started watching football in Dominica when TV came in, I've supported Manchester United. From that time on, and I've never stopped.
You've never stopped?
No. Even though when it's down days or up days, I support my team.
And it appears that for basketball, your favorite team is Lakers. And it is her dream one day to get you to see a live Lakers game.
Yeah, I would want to see that because we have teams we support. She support Lakers sometimes because of LeBron James.
Right.
And what her team is Boston.
Oh, Boston Celtics.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I visited her, we went to see. No, we were not able to see Lakers. We were able to see Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I also went to Madison Square Garden to see New York and Boston play. But this last year, early this year, I was to see the NFL team, Dallas Cowboys, in Philly, but because of the COVID situation.
Oh, you missed that.
Yeah, I missed that.
So you have favorite teams in just about every sport?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I like every sport.
You like every sport. You live. Even you like, Lana say love. From what I'm hearing. But
yeah.
But would
and
you?
just as Samina love.
Yes,
football.
this lady selfish is something else.
Yes. When it comes to sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to a day when you can actually see your team play live and in living color, LA Lakers?
Yeah, I would like that.
You would like that.
Maybe in my lifetime.
You will.
Yeah.
I think you will get to see. What is it about? How do you decide on I'm supporting that team and not that team?
See, when I started watching basketball on TV, the Lakers had a very good way of playing basketball. They run with Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and those guys. They played the most attractive basketball. So from that time I get got to love Lakers.
So you're not one of those people who support a team because they win.
Oh, no.
Mm-mm. And you will, if they're going down, you're going down with them.
Yeah.
You're fighting till the end with
Fighting
them.
till the end.
Yes. So that love for sports made you choose the Dominica Grammar School.
Mhm.
So tell me, how did you incorporate that love for sports into your learning and your education at Dominica Grammar School? How many sports did you play? What did you get involved in?
Well, I get involved in cricket, but not at a high level. I used to play football for my house team, and so on. And at that time in the Dominica Grammar School, we had several things. We had boxing, we used to play rugby, table tennis, football, basketball, cricket. All these things were being played. So I actually played these ways, but not to a high level. But I was proficient in some of them.
Okay.
But sports and education can go together. Some people believe that if you play sports, you will not be educated. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true at all. So, and in fact, sports had a very good, I would say, played a very great role in the development of the Dominica Grammar School. Because in my days, there were about 7 guys who attended the grammar school being on the island team.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good, and that has devastated grammar school when the field was taken away and turned into a carnival thing, and it had never, up to now, it hasn't got back to that stage, and it was bad because
You didn't like that?
I didn't like that at all. And the fact is, when we had our athletics thing, all the schools would come and visit. That was a grand time. It brought camaraderie between all the schools, in the ladies' school, boys' school. It was very well, but I pray that day that it will return, and the Dominica Grammar School will be strong in sports as it was before.
Outside of that, what was your time at Dominica Grammar School like? Who are some of the friends that you remember?
Well,
Were you
one thing-
quiet? Were you troublesome like Sabina? I know I'm going to be riding on her so much tonight.
I can be ever troublesome as but I like to support my school, and in fact, in those days we were required to return to school in the afternoons to support our teams. When grammar school was playing it, SME, you would have a big bell or a flag, and so on. But today we have the schools playing, and we don't even know if they're playing. Sometimes the parents don't go to support the children. That's one of the bad things in comparison to Jamaica, where every little thing, athletics, football, whatever it is, you find the parents being there supporting the children, as it is done in America.
And sadly, you're saying we don't see that
We
anymore.
don't see that anymore. It's sad.
Who do you remember some of your friends from grammar school?
Oh boy. Yeah, so many friends like
So many.
Leo, John Charles, and all these guys, Lenny, Andre, all this. But the fact is that most of them have left them.
Okay.
Most of our friends, my friends at school left. Sometimes they come back, they say, "Oh, you remember me? I was in Tech Wing, I was in that form," and so on. Then the memories come back.
Mm-hmm.
But a significant change happened when grammar school allowed the ladies
Oh.
to be at the school.
Were you there at that time?
Yes, I was there. I was.
What form were you in? Do you remember?
For form going to fifth form or one of the.
What did you think about that?
But man, that were a lot of things, man, because
What? So you were
instead
not
getting
then?
lines, I wanted my school to remain a boys' school.
But you had girls now.
Yeah, but I know, but I wanted our school to remain. Because it changed the culture of the school, obviously. It changed the culture of the school. And at that time we had to have a long hose in our leg and put things, and It changed.
Clearly you didn't like
The
that.
rules and regulations now had to change. And it was something else.
You were not pleased. I can tell you were not pleased about
I was
that.
not pleased with that change, but after when we come to accept it.
Of course,
come to
because
accept it.
now you have co-ed, and now you can have friends that are girls in school, and you can have your friends
that
that
is
are
true.
guys.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and have a nice
But
little blend.
Initially, it changed the culture.
It changed.
the
And in
culture.
what way you think though it changed the culture so much that you were not happy with?
Because I was so used to be at school with boys and girls, and also, I mean, the treatment that was given to the girls at that time was, it wasn't biased towards the girls. towards the ladies. But after a while, you made friends with one another.
Of course.
And then
Of
it
course.
came on. So
You
it was
had
a-
to.
It was a big change.
It was a big change.
It was a
So
big
you
change.
were at Dominica Grammar School at the time.
Yes, when
When
it started.
it changed into
Yeah.
co-ed.
Co-ed, yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
All right. So overall, Dominica Grammar School experience was good. What subjects did you focus on at grammar school?
Well, I love geography
Geography.
and history too.
Okay.
Geography and history.
By the time you were at grammar school, did you know then what you wanted to be? What you wanted to do? What career you were interested in?
But in those years when I went to grammar school, we had passed some tumultuous times.
Mm-hmm.
It was at that time when Black Power and
Oh.
things came into play. And I liked it. I was at one time part of it.
You were part of it.
Yeah. But after that, my life was changed and I left it.
Okay, so let's have a little conversation around that, just a little bit. You see, some of what you're sharing with, I don't know, I have no pre-information about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you said that you were part of the Black Power movement, there have been people who've been through this program and they talk about Black Power movement. What in your understanding was the Black Power movement? And you also indicated that you were a part of it. Help us understand what you mean by being a part of it.
Okay. Well, at that time, young black people want to raise their consciousness because a lot of guys who were in the metropolitan countries,
Mm-hmm.
like Para Riviere, Ron Green, Peltier, the Priest Coffee, Father Coffee, you call him, and all these guys, when they came back from overseas, they themselves have suffered a lot of discrimination and things. So they try to raise the consciousness of our young people. Also, it was some kind of socialist movement also. And at that time, you had libraries being set up in Granby, in Roseau, and different places. And young people were encouraged to go and research and read the books. And I would follow the various meetings that were being held. So that's how it was for that time.
And then you said, then you changed
Yeah.
and you left it. Tell us about that change and what that change was about.
So while I was going on, a friend of mine, he was in a law firm in grammar school. I was living in Goodwill at that time. He invited me to a church service because a pastor from America came and he started to preach the word, so I listened and then I decided to follow.
And that's it?
Yeah.
And what church was it?
That was this Church of God Assembly at the time. It's still there at Fort Sam Waters Lane. I remained there for about almost 6 years, I guess, almost 6 years.
What was it that pastor said that drew you away from that movement
Yeah.
to that movement?
Yes, but he was speaking of, a story of a man who invited a young man to what they call a crusade and whatever. He heard the words, and after he was involved in an accident and he died. And that's, still something in me that, death can come at any time, and you have to be prepared and whatever. So I continued the whole week attending, and I feel I should make a decision to follow Jesus Christ at that time. That's what.
What was your understanding of that decision you were making to quote unquote start following Jesus Christ?
Well, I was brought up in the street, the Roman Catholic thing. Sometimes I do go to church on Sunday, 3 times on a Sunday morning, and they had Vespers or whatever in the afternoon. But what I found out that many of the teachings that were taught was not in line with the Bible, and as a result, trying to seek for truth, whether socially or spiritually, I found that what I was being led or taught was not the correct way. So I found there was a better way. And then after a point in time, I left that way to talk about, and I went to the assembly.
And that's where you are now.
That's where I am now.
All right. Somebody just sent me, shared a little message there with us, and the person reads. I didn't ask if I could say their name, so I'll just read what they said. To tell you the truth, I really admire Mr. Williams as a minister of the word. I first discovered his spiritual wisdom and knowledge of the scripture during the late Spider's, the Calypsonian's funeral. His preaching at that service resonated with me to this day, and I believe it will be so for the rest of my life. He wanted his listenership to know when they would be in that casket like Spider, if they had done the right thing on earth so as to meet Yahweh. Oh yes, it was powerful and had to send you home to reflect. To this day, it's the most powerful sermon I've ever heard at a funeral. May Yahweh forever bless you, Mr. Williams, so that you keep doing his work that he called you to do. Do you remember that sermon?
I remember this sermon. It was quite some time ago. It was at the old 10th court. That's where Spider. That's where we had the service for him. Yeah, and as you would see, Spider had some good songs, and he would make mention of the Bible and so on. So that's why I was invited to speak on his behalf during that time.
And it seemed to have impacted some people.
Yes,
especially that person.
Yeah, that is true, and I honestly thank him for his words. But the most important thing I would do is whether he's trying to follow.
Well, I guess he makes reference to Yahweh, so I get a sense that. And why is it called? Let me ask. Let's talk a little about the religion.
Yes. Okay.
So you went from one church, stayed there for about 5 years, and then you went on to another church that you're currently at.
Yeah.
So how long have you been at that church or following that particular church and its preachings?
1981.
Since 1981?
Yes.
That's a very long time.
Very long time.
That's a very long time. Why the decision to move to that one?
Okay. Well, because the Almighty Father has a name by which he calls himself. He said, "This is my name. This is my memorial unto all generations." That's how I want to be remembered. So therefore, though the church at that time knew the actual name of the Creator, but they said, well, we could use a substitute. We could use Lord or we could use God. Well, we were convinced that if the Creator has a name and tells us he wants us to remember him by that name, we should do it. And there were other beliefs like the feast days that the Bible talks about. We do observe these feast days, which people say are Jewish, so we do observe that. But there are a lot of similarities between what the Church of God preaches and what we actually follow now. So that's the main reason.
So Yahweh, why Yahweh?
Yeah, because that's his name. He tells us that He wants to be remembered by his name. And if he tells us to call him by his name, who are we to choose what we want to call him by? If he says that is mine.
So Yahweh Kahal, that's the name of the church.
Yeah, Kahal Yahweh means, which means assembly of Yahweh, the congregation of Yahweh in English.
Okay.
That's what it means in English.
Okay. So you've been at that church and you believe in the teachings of
Yes.
that church. Tell me about your position in the church and a bit of your journey.
Presently, I am the head of the assembly here in Dominica. It was my wife's father who was the main pastor at the beginning for a number of years. Then after a while, when he became not well, he handed over the responsibility to me, and I have done that since that time. And presently, I'm the head of the assembly.
You're the head of the assembly. And as the head of the assembly, what is your role? Are you referred to as a pastor, a preacher?
Yeah, I can refer to as pastor, elder, or overseer. That's the terms that was given to the leaders in the apostolic assembly. In the early assembly, that's what it was called. It was not called father or pope or reverend or whatever it is.
Where is that church located?
We used to worship at 47 What is in Goodwill, and then we moved to Mount Prosper in 2002 or something.
All right. Good following?
Yes, but also you find that some other people migrate.
Okay.
And my whole families are migrated, and sometimes people fall off the way. So and now, I mean, I don't know if it's a problem that's happening in our country, that the decline of attendance of assemblies is marked here in Dominica.
Okay. So you've lost some membership?
Yeah, lots of members.
Over the
You
years.
can get a few, but through migration and people falling away, it shows a bad light. Because in fact, it is very difficult to get young men, even young men, to attend services, because of, as though if you are attending, you soft, you different kind of things and so on, and people are attracted to the glamour, to the noise that they are hearing outside. There's a great influence, and peer pressure does a lot of things to people. But if you know what you're about and what you want to achieve and what to accomplish in your life spiritually, I think people should go back to the Bible, read their Bible, study their Bible, and we will have a greater country, a country who's at peace and at rest. And people talking about, not attending, they would want to go to religion because of that pastor, because of that. But religion plays a great role, in preventing crime. Preventing crime in any country. People don't understand that the role that the religions play. Whether I may not agree with the beliefs of the people who practice Roman Catholicism or Pentecostal or the others, but they have a role to play in society. Because you will find young men, young women go in there. They will do their best to abstain from crime and everything, and you'll find it a little sometimes, but not as if they're just on the street doing all different kinds of things.
Mr. Williams, you believe in a God, and you serve the God that you believe in, right? And you believe that, are you one of those, does your church believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross to save us and so on? What are the doctrines of your church? What do you go by?
Well, we believe that Yahweh is the creator. He is one. There's no one like him. No one is compared to him. And his son, whom you refer to as Jesus, to be Yahshua, the savior of the world. Why? Because he's a Hebrew man. He was called Yahshua by giving that name to to his parents by an angel. He was Hebrew, so he would have carried a Hebrew name. But the word Jesus, it came from the Greek. It came from the Greek to Latin and then to English as Jesus Christ today. So we don't actually use Jesus in our worship. We refer to the Savior of the world who died on the stake of Calvary in Jerusalem for our sins as Yeshua.
I see.
So we call him Yeshua, we refer to the Creator as Yahweh.
As Yahweh. And that's it.
All others are idols.
You believe so?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we respect totally your church, your beliefs, your doctrines, and everything that you
Yeah, and so we respect people. We respect people for their beliefs.
Yes,
We
yes.
we don't agree, but
Right.
we are not going to hate people or try to do them wrong because they not believe in what we, or try to ridicule them.
Mhm.
No, I mean, you have your view, we can reason, we can talk about it and show respect to one another.
You've experienced a lot of tragedy in your life. How do you, yes, and then we were going to talk about a bit of it in a while. How do you reconcile that with God?
How to
Yes.
do it.
You want to just, okay, no problem. We're going to take a quick break and we're coming right back. Keep it locked.
From 8 p.m. in the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
Welcome back. It's 9:40 the time in the studios here at Q95. We're also live on the In the Spotlight radio and TV shows Facebook page, and we're talking to Mr. Lyndell Williams and just having a little bit of a religious discussion on the program here this evening. And I was just trying, what we, just around that realm of talking about religion. And in his case, he says Yahshua, Yahweh. I was just trying to understand with him. And this gentleman, I tell you, as I said earlier on, if you want to know about the strength of a man, is talk to this gentleman. He's lost some immediate members of his family, his children, his wife, an aunt, from what I'm understanding, and he's experienced quite a bit of loss. And I'm just trying to understand, for a man, with such a strong faith, how do you make sense, Mr. Williams, of some of the experiences that you've had, and why, it happens to someone like you?
All right. Yahweh is the creator. He wants the best for us. And he he hasn't stated in his word that life would be always good
Right.
for even those who follow him. I mean, we have the records in the Bible where many of the people of Yahweh, the saints, were sick, some died, some were persecuted, their heads were chopped off, some died of starvation, and all this. So I've learned that life is not an easy journey. Life has plains, life has valleys, life has mountains. Mountaintop experience is wonderful and beautiful. The valley experiences has its own things that place us in a position where we need the help of the Creator to help us on journey. And then the plain sometimes is nice and easy, but it is there that we can really be attracted to turn away from it because life is so easy. With my situation, I'm going to tell you in 2012, it started there.
It started in 2012.
Really started there in
Yes.
2012. As I told you, I have 3 children. I had 3 children. Sabina was first the girl, only girl, and then I had two boys. All right. In 2012, Sabina fell sick. She had growth in the womb, and she was terribly ill. She had to be taken to St. Lucia to be operated on. And I can remember she had to do a major operation, and the doctors tells me, you know, Mr. Williams, you have to get blood for your daughter. I said, Doc, I'm in St. Lucia, I'm in a foreign country. Where am I going to get blood
Yes.
to give to the hospital on behalf of my daughter? I said, it's not possible, but let us go on, let us go ahead with the operation. I believe that she will get through. So before she went to go, I held her hand, I tell her, well, it will be okay. It will be okay, it's all right. She went through the operation. And I tell you, a mass of 27 pounds.
27 pounds.
The flesh was removed from her. And the doctor was amazed that her blood count, hemoglobin count, did not go down that would necessitate that she would be transfused with blood. So by this I thank Yahweh for His great miracle. She came out, she almost lost her life. And from then on, she always had problems, you know,
Even
clotting,
today.
clotting, even today,
Yes.
and that will be for her entire life, because I think through the mother they are missing a factor, blood factor, that causes your blood to
All the
clot.
children?
Yeah, because my wife died of the same,
Yes.
and my first son died of the same problem.
Okay.
So she has remained with that, but she has severe problems. But I think now she's getting better with it. So it started there. Then 2 years later.
2 years later. There's timelines there, it
Yeah,
seems.
yeah.
Yeah, so
2
in
years.
2014.
2014. My first son got ill. I was living up and he living downstairs in my house. He was married, and for a few days I said he was.
What was
not
his name?
Lemuel.
Lemuel
Yeah,
Williams.
We had Sabina, Lemuel, and Lynn.
Okay.
It was the last one. I found out that he was not, because I asked him, well, Lemuel, what was wrong? Why you promised? He feeling breathless. He's not feeling well. So I told him, well, by tomorrow, if you don't want to go to the doctor, I'll have to take you to the doctor. But the problem was the same night I spoke to him, he fell down. We took him, rushed him to the hospital. He was diagnosed for blood clot in his lungs.
In his lungs.
Yeah.
How old was he, Mr. Williams?
When he died, he was 33.
33.
He was 33.
So 2012, Sabina falls ill,
Ill.
almost died,
Mhm.
had to get blood for her, but thank God it turned out it was not required.
Yes,
And she survived
she said.
the ordeal of that, continues to experience even today.
Even today.
2 years later, by the time maybe she was just probably about recovering from her operation, your son Lemuel falls ill.
Yes. Well, he was at the hospital, and
In the mic. Yes.
he was rushed to the hospital. He was in casualty for a while, but he was taken to the Henry Ward, which I thought was not the best for much, and he should have been taken to the intensive care unit. He spent the night there, and the next day he became worse. And then the doctor, we went to the intensive care unit. He was there for 4 days, and when I told him goodbye, kiss his family.
I'm sorry, I know that's going to be very difficult for you, but we're just going to take our time and you recall the best that you can. If we need a break, we will take a break.
When we reach home, we got a call that come fingers still bad. So I told his wife, once we left the hospital and we come home and they call us, he's gone.
He's gone.
So,
And was that the case?
that's exactly the case. He died.
What exactly did he die of?
They say pulmonary embolism.
What does that mean to the layman?
A clot in his lungs, and they said it was large. It was too large. He could
Was
not have
big.
done. And if
So he could not have been operated on?
maybe I'm not sure.
But probably not here.
Not here. But maybe if they had placed him in intensive care unit on his arrival at the hospital, maybe some form of he could have. But sometimes we have the best of care we die, as I will tell you in relation to my wife.
Yes.
So the next.
So what was that like, in terms of losing your first child?
It was terrible. It was very bad for him, and he had 2 children, 2 girls. One was 6 years and the other was 6 months.
6 years and 6 months.
Yeah.
How did your wife take it?
She took it bad. But worse was to come.
Worse
Just
was to come.
Yeah. Worse was to come just a few months after.
A few months after,
Yes.
in the same year.
Same year. So he died,
Laying to rest.
to rest, comforting them, his wife, his children. His wife got a breakdown and so on.
Oh my.
But after she got over it and get okay and whatever.
Mhm.
Then that was July 25. July 25, my first son died, 2014.
July 25th.
25th,
Mhm.
2014
Lemuel.
died, yeah.
Mhm.
And within 3 months, to October 10,
October, so July, August, September, October.
my second son died,
And the second son was
Lynn.
Lynn. I think I know what happened to Lynn. Was Lynn the one who worked at Dominic
Yes.
at the power company
Mhm.
and he got electrocuted?
He was not.
He was not? Okay, tell us what happened.
Information came what was bad. Well, 3 months after, we were observing the Feast of Tabernacles,
Mhm.
first day of the feast. He was alright, I saw him alright and whatever. And after our lunchtime, we sit down, we eat. Then he he's taking his lunch and he's going to see his friend, his girlfriend, or was on the other side, a little away from us. He took his lunch and he went. And about 2 hours after, I'm hearing look Lynn fall from a ladder. When I went, I saw him on the ground. They were trying to resuscitate him. He was taken to the hospital. I stayed a few minutes on the ground, campgrounds, trying to thinking what's going on. Then took my wife. We went to the hospital. When we reached at the hospital, I saw him lying straight on the slab. I said, well, he's gone.
Even before they told you.
Even before he told me, I could see that he had already passed. They were trying to think by saying that he's gone. I watch his lips, his eyes, say he's gone. And I tell you, that is the greatest pain that I've ever felt.
The loss of your boys.
Especially
This one.
him.
Why
Just
this one in particular?
Why? Because, I mean, I haven't had 3 months to try to recover from the first one.
Yes.
And here, in a short space of time, he died.
So it had nothing to do with
He had been
electric-
electrocuted.
Yeah.
No. He was doing a little electrical thing for someone so that will make it more comfortable for the parent of that child during the night.
So he was trying to help someone.
Help someone, and that happened. But the autopsy report didn't say anything about electrocution.
Okay.
Because when he died, he didn't have any burns or anything on the
Alright.
so,
Okay.
and that was, oh man.
So he slipped and fell.
I know everybody's, he fell. But I know
And
they
that's
said he died of cardiomegaly or enlargement of the heart and some kind of thing. That's what the autopsy report said.
So again, please don't mind me asking, but
You can ask any question.
explain to us what that means.
Cardiomegaly
Is it a
means
heart
an
attack?
enlargement of the heart.
Okay.
You know, Canambo, they said Rosie Douglas died of cardiomegaly enlargement of the.
So does that mean he felt some level of pain or something that caused him to fall?
I wouldn't.
You don't know.
I don't know, but that's what the autopsy report said, because I imagine it had the lungs and whatever, everything. But it's the greatest pain boy had. I mean, it was difficult, but more so to my wife, because that devastated her. She was sadly depressed, and life was not easy.
Could not be.
Very difficult.
Could not be. To
Very
lose
difficult.
2 boys in a matter of
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. It was very difficult on her. I mean, sometimes I would try to, let's go somewhere, whatever. She wanted to stay in the house, close up the house, and want me to stay there. But I said, but if you do that, you're going to get me worse. I have to want to do somebody. But if you stay in one place like that, it wouldn't be good. So it was a very trying time. Very trying time. You know, and I felt it badly. You know, but I was saying, well, Yahweh, there are many other people other boys who live in so recklessly and all kind of thing. Why them? That's what I was asking.
Were they good boys, Mr. Williams?
Very good. Very good boys. They were loved by the entire community. And Lynn, we was looking for going to university to do electrical engineering the following year. But so I said, why? I mean, I've lived a life already. I'm good. He could have taken me instead of them, and he could have done that. But after one day, one day I said, what? I'm saying, why not somebody? But why should Yahweh take it from me and give it to another person, because maybe I would be able to bear it and another one would not be able to bear it. Because I've seen many people, they're there for their loved one, they lose everything, somebody go into shock, they die, whatever it is. So I say, okay, I can't really know the real answer, but if your will, let your will be done. You have seen, maybe I might be the one who can overcome that, but there are others who will. If it were they would not have been able to make it. So I say, well, Yahweh is good, and that's, I started my recovery.
You started your recovery.
From
How were you able to help your wife though?
well,
In recovering, or did she never recover from it?
she never. She never recovered. Sometimes she would have good days, but other days it would be difficult. It would be difficult. And then after my son died, she got sick. In 2017, she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
With breast cancer, your wife.
2017.
After having to deal with the death of your boys.
But let me just go back a little. My last boy, he was born 11 years after the first son. Sabine is the first child. He was born 11 years. And my wife had a lot of problems with him. She had to be taking heparin for blood clotting every time, and it was terrible. And also she was very close to him. He was very close to him. And you know they were just like friends. They were not only mother and son, but they were very close, like good friends, close friends. So that made her. That had a greater effect on her because of the closeness and the bond that they shared. So she really felt it very hard. I felt it very hard, but I was able to get over it, to recall something, but she just could not. And then in 2017, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. I say, what? Man,
you go back to Yahweh again.
It's not ending at all. We here. We went to the hospital. We said, well, let us seek another opinion. We went to New York hospital. Then she was getting treatment. She got the first course of chemotherapy. She went good. She went well. It went well. She did not experience much difficulties. However, one time we were coming up from the hospital from a treatment, then we was standing, the bus was packed, and she fell on the bus. Then the bus was cleared, the boy was taken off. We called the ambulance came. Very fast treatment. Take her. We told them, well, just a short distance to our home, we can go. He said, no way. Once someone has fallen on the bus, they must be taken to the hospital. Then they were taken to the hospital, then the doctor diagnosed blood clots.
Wow.
What happened? The chemotherapy caused her blood to start clotting again.
Wow.
So she stayed there for a week or more. Then she was discharged. She was at home taking a Sabina's home, getting treatment. Then what happened on the when was Mary was the 17th of September?
2017 there.
Yeah. So that night,
September 18.
18. So the night before, the night when the hurricane struck, I was to come back to Dominica.
Okay.
To reorganize things, financial things and so on. We were boarding the front people had already get their boarding pass. Then the call came that we cannot go to Dominica again because the hurricane is going to hit Dominica directly. So we had to go back home and reorganize. So during the daytime, so she remained there. Then she went to her sister in Pennsylvania, to take care of it because I was going home. Then the hurricane struck.
You cannot go home.
I got home. But during the day, we were sitting in front of the television, 3 of us, my wife and my daughter and myself. And we were telling our mom, stay away from the door. Go downstairs early, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She didn't do that. She remained.
So let's pause a little. In all of that, your mother is home in Dominica.
Yeah.
With whom?
She lived by herself.
Oh my goodness.
And I just taken a little time to leave, to take a little break to one check.
Mm-hmm. Your wife, yes, of course.
Yes. Yeah, so I was coming back, then the hurricane struck. So for a few days, I just stayed and change my flight to St. Lucia, and then take the ferry.
No, so you're there now. Your wife is ill in New York. A hurricane just passed. Your mother is all by herself in Dominica. You had to leave one to go look out for the other. My goodness.
Because we were trying to reach her or whatever, but finally we got a message that she's injured. So
she got injured.
yeah, she was trying to hold the door.
Oh my God, I'm shivering.
The glass broke and fall on both legs.
On both her legs.
She got cuts on both legs, and she's diabetic again. So it was a calamity because he had to leave. I asked my wife, "You think I should go down or whatever?" She said, "Okay, go, do whatever you're doing, and you will come back."
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, things turned worse one way and with my mother. She got worse when she started the second round
Of chemo.
And my mother being caught when I arrived, about 3 days after the hurricane. When I came, she had gone downstairs, part of the roof had gone.
Mm-hmm.
All the place full with water and whatever it is. She was in the room. When I came, opened the door, she couldn't recognize me. I burst out in tears. I said, "Well, what? I can't recognize my mother, can't recognize me."
So she don't know who is that person.
She don't know who is that. Start talking to her to bring back her mind. And then she get to know who I am. And while we tried to find out where the street was between Loubier and so we got her to the hospital. She had to stay there. Stay at the hospital 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And had to be going up and down, bringing things to her and whatever.
Mm.
Then my sister came.
Difficult times.
Difficult times, real hard times. And at the same time, my sister-in-law is saying my wife is getting worse.
Oh, Jesus.
And she herself sometimes would call and my wife herself would call and say, "Well, she's going to die. She's going to die." Then I would be telling her, "No, I won't die." Some of her friends, some of her brethren and sisters would call and say, "Have faith, you will get better." But it got worse. It got worse, and then again I had the pressure. My mom at home, she wants to go to her home. Though she's comfortable, but elderly people, they rather be at their homes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to find a way to. Then we got a house covered and whatever it is. Then what a week sometime after, while we were keeping the Sabbath Saturday, we were eating and then we got a message that my wife passed. I was to go to
You were in Dominica.
Yeah, I was in Dominica. Then my sister told me,
Mr. Williams.
Silma is not doing well, so come up. So I arranged a flight. I couldn't go immediately. I had to wait a little. Then I got a flight for the Wednesday to go to Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. Then the Saturday before that Wednesday, I got a call that she passed.
You were not expecting that.
No, I was not expecting her. But even though she said she was feeling well, I say, well, maybe
Yes.
it's the pain and
Yes.
when she's
The
suffering.
medication,
The
the
medication.
effects of it.
Yeah, so she died. Well, the doctors had advised that where she was in New York, they should not have discharged her initially until they had seen the blood clot had cleared.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? The continual getting of the chemotherapy caused the blood to clot and created a lump and went up to her lungs. And they said they tried to operate, they did their best, operate on her, but they said there would be no return. And then she died. So
How did you feel, Mr. Williams, when you got that call?
it was rough. It was. After losing my children, losing my wife. You know, you still feel it. Even the number of years that have passed. Because our customary habit was, you know, on Saturdays we would sit down and eat together. Sometimes the little grandchildren would be there. You know, and so even today these things come back. They come back. But I think we're passing of time. It gets lighter, but it can never leave. It will never leave. You just have to try to cope with it. Have the good memories that you share. But at times these feelings will always come back.
Of course.
They always come back.
Tell us a bit about your wife. What type of person was she?
Why tell sometimes she could be a very loving lady, but sometimes she would be rough.
You're a little terror. That's how we know.
So she will be
That's
rough.
how we know take that.
So she will be rough, but she's very loving.
Yes.
Sometimes, you know, I'll be telling something today, and maybe somebody say the next day, you take it the opposite way. You know, so I say, boy, I don't know what to talk now.
At least we can have a little smile.
Yeah. So sometimes that's how it was. But the fact is that she was a good mother to the children, and you know how we had it. I would never leave my children with anybody. If I would have to go on one study or go on a program, I would want her to be there. And sometimes when she needed a holiday, I would make sure I'd be here. Or if we are going anywhere, all of us would go together. And if you return to back at the beginning, what I told you.
Yes. Of course,
I
the
always
experience
want
if
to-
you're done.
Yeah, I
Yes.
always want to be a good
Yes.
father to my children.
What do you miss most about your wife?
Most is that regardless of sometimes she would be difficult. She always believed in her faith that nobody would move her because her father and her stepfather were very strong in the faith, and she held that, and she supported me in that way. So She tried her best, but she couldn't take the death of Lynn, her boy, her second
She
son,
never recovered
because
from
she
that.
suffered so much in being involved. And then they had become so close together, and losing him really devastated her. It did me great harm, because I've said I don't think there's any other thing that would bring me more pain than that death. That death. I mean, my wife, it pained me, but what I went through on the second death, it was nothing could compare to that.
You were left with your daughter, Sabina.
Yes.
What impact did that have? Did all of these tragedies have on her? Because we have not touched yet on that. And what are you most worried about where she's concerned?
I just really can't assess it, how the impact on her, but she really missed her brothers, because they were very, very, very close. Very close, because they were always together. If we were going to see basketball, all of us going, or seeing football, and whatever it is, we were always together. She really missed them. She really, I know she really missed them. But the thing that she's one of the that COVID thing has prevented me from seeing her for the past 2 years.
Oh wow.
But every year I'll try to, pay her visit. And she's very happy when I come to visit her.
Are you worried about her?
Who wouldn't be? She was living in Philly, then she moved to New Jersey recently. And these places are violent places. That are murders and so on. So you only have to worry. That's why almost every day I call. If she don't call for a day, I'll try to see what's happening the very next day.
I'm referring as well to, because she's still dealing with the clots and other things.
Yeah. And but the fact she has to take a certain treatment every day, she cannot skip it. And when it gets bad, then she has a doctor to go to. But it has improved over the years because of a certain procedure they have done for her. That has improved her health a lot.
I think one time she was brave enough to actually post a photo of a scar.
Yeah.
I think
Or the big
down
operation
her.
I
Yes.
mentioned.
Huge scar.
Huge scar. Yeah.
Yes. Well, she's a strong girl, this Sabina.
Oh.
So
From time Sabina is taught, she's tough. She doesn't take things easy. She won't just accept your answer or something. She will go deeper and deeper, like to argue and things. And she's a good person, like to argue. And I say I like to argue when I'm ready. But Sabina is tough.
let's hear this from her.
Hi, Fadina. Thanks for having my dad on the show to tell his story. It is indeed a wonderful one, and I hope that someone somewhere gets inspiration from him. I know that everyone says they have the best dad in the world, but I can truly see that he has been the most amazing father to me and my siblings, and as a father figure to others around him. He has never relented in his role as a mentor, a provider, as a support, and even at times when he may have been disappointed as a parent in my siblings and especially me, that's the time he has proven his unconditional love to us. We have been through so much as a family, and it's his strength and resilience that has helped me to go through all of it as well. Daddy, I love you, and my wish right now is that you would not know any more pain, and I just want to have so many more years with you as a dad, as my friend, and we have such a strong bond that I never want to see it broken. And I just want you to know that Chelsea's gonna win the EPL this year.
Oh, yes.
This girl had me tearing up. This girl literally had me tearing up here, and then she comes with that at the end. Sabina, you really touched me there for a moment. You really did, you know, but trust you to just come to the end and just throw us off. All right, people in here getting all emotional, and then there you come. What was it like just hearing from your daughter?
But she can be assured that they love her always. That bond will never be broken. Not on my side.
Not on your side.
Not on my side. And if she does not want that bond to be broken on her side, I don't think it will be. Regardless of, I mean, maybe opposite way of life, you know, or things that she may say and do, but she's still my daughter. I love her always.
Who is Akim?
And Akim is a adopted son. See, my wife always liked to take care of people. You know, he at the age of, let me see, about 4 or so, you know, he used to come to a location that was close to where we live, and he had a lot of sores on his body.
Mm-hmm.
And his father was living a distance away, but the same community of Okole, and the mother wasn't so well. It's like she had mental problems, so she took him in, take care.
Your wife took him?
Yeah, she took him in, brought him to St. Kitts. We were going to St. Kitts. You know, he had to change a lot of his little ways, or he was getting clean, and then he grew up, and then after 18 years, he was a grown man.
You went on his own way?
Went on his own way. He's okay now. And I mean, and many people in the community said, well, that was something, because the way how the boy was growing up and the home that he was in, well, we really saved his life.
Mm-hmm. We have a little something from Akim as well.
Oh.
My gratitude to the Williams family who has raised me up from a very young tender age due to certain circumstances which occur. I just want to show my love and appreciation to the Williams family, Mr. Lyndell Williams, my daddy, and his wife who passed away. I miss her so much, and my siblings, yeah, Lynn and Nimwell, they have passed too, but I miss them, still love them, and my sister Sabina. Yeah, I just want to show my appreciation.
Oh.
Yeah, Akim, yeah. Well, he now has his own son. I'm happy that he has his own son now, that he would take care of him and be a responsible father to his son, based on, you know, himself he had a terrible upbringing, but praise Yahweh that he has grown to be a man, and we still love him, we treat him still as a son.
Yes, because he refers to your boys as his brothers, Sabina as his sister, you as daddy. And
when Lynn died, I thought he was going to get mad.
Oh my.
He was crying, he was running up and down. He felt it very bad. Because I was his good friend and companion. I
have one more voice note that I want to play for you. before we move on to we wrap up at 10:30, but we must talk about your involvement, your employment within the government service.
Yes.
We'll take this one and then we'll come back.
And I have known Mr. Lyndell Williams all my life. I say this because he and I grew up in the same community. He has always been someone, we looked up to as children. And as I grew older, he became my friend. And I have to say that, he is one of the most solid people that I know. Solid because he has been through so much, and yet he's still standing.
That's Shamin Beek. Yes, Shamin Beek Child. She's
my good friend.
Yes, and she just wanted to share some words as well. Mr. Williams, I'm here and I'm trying to figure out, how can one person be faced with so much loss, so much tragedy, and here you are, trying to garner all the strength that you can to share with us. And I know it's not easy for you to do that. And I remember when we initially arranged the interview, I said, I know there's going to be some sensitive things to talk about, but I suspect you came a bit ready for me. And ready for us, And it's clear that you've been doing your best in trying to continue with your recovery and moving on the best that you can. Although, how do you move on from the loss of 2 sons and a wife? And I understand you had a relative who also burnt.
One of my aunts. She was the one who was really there at the home when we were as children in Vegas. That was really because all the others, her siblings had gone, but she remained with my grandmother, and when she died, it was difficult. Having died in such a manner, it was terrible. And not too long ago, my aunt, who is a nun, died in Trinidad, and she was my favorite aunt. And we were able to go and bury her. She lived practically almost all her life in this. In fact, one of the children that she cared for, that really caused her to she got a broken hip and whatever by pushing her, and she fell sick, and then she died.
Where's your mind at now, where your mom is concerned?
Where is
your mind at now, where your mom is concerned?
Really, almost a month ago, my mom got a stroke. Then I called the lady who resides, the tenant who resides downstairs, called and said she had put some money down, my mother is not coming to collect it. So I immediately ran up all house. But I met her on the floor in the kitchen. Boy, it was a shock. But she was still responding and whatever. Take her to the hospital. She stayed a few days. They discharged her, and she remained about a day and a half at home. I told my sister, no, my mom is not looking good. Let's take her to the hospital. Call the ambulance. Then the doctor had another diagnosis because they found out that she had clots in her lungs now.
Oh, Jesus.
And she couldn't breathe, so she had to be on oxygen for quite some time. And they started treating her. She's responding better, but she cannot walk.
She can't walk.
And it appears that when she fell, she had
Her hip?
her hip got fractured on the right side. It's dead, she cannot move it. So that's the state she's in now.
Okay.
Well, I think maybe I will grant her a few days more.
Yes. I pray for that for you as well.
Yeah.
Yes. The good thing is your sister is here
Yes.
helping.
She's helping.
So that should give you some comfort.
Yeah. She expected to maybe return to work too,
Yeah.
because they granted her some somebody.
Compassionately?
Yeah, well, so she works for 4 hours online.
Okay.
They wanted her, she asked for some extra time. I don't know if they will concede to
I
her
hope
request.
they do. I hope they do.
Maybe. So it will be that after I would have to do more and then get somebody
To help.
to help.
Yes. You are retired,
Yes.
are you?
Yes.
Officially retired
Yes, from the government.
from
service.
government service. Tell us about your
My journey.
time, your journey, if
Yeah.
needs be, within the government service
Mhm.
as we're getting ready to get closer
Okay.
to.
Well, I started working in 1977. In fact, on the 17th of August 1977, as a votes clerk in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Health and Welfare. In 1977, as you know, that time was a turbulent time, between 77 and 79.
Mhm.
As a junior clerk, 77. I had to wait almost 8 years before I could. No, I remained about 3 years before I appointed junior clerk, and then senior clerk in 1985. Then I worked at the hospital as a medical records clerk. In 1983 to 85, I'd gone to do medical records technology in Barbados
Good.
for 2 years, and then came back, worked at the Central Medical Stores as stores clerk for a number of years. Then I went to the Treasury Department and worked there as an assistant accountant before I finally moved to the Labor Department, where I worked for over 11 years. I worked from 1977 to 2015. Then I reached to the level of deputy labor commissioner, active labor commissioner a few times, and also I've gone to India to study advanced diploma in human resource planning and development, and I've gone to several training and whatever. And so when I came back from India, the three of us that went to India, Mr. Weeks, little girl, she had gone to do a master's. Weeks and myself had gone to do the diploma program,
Okay.
and our goal was to, when we return, to go to do masters in different fields. So Mr. Weeks went, he did his master's, but when I came back, the situations changed. So I was not able to go to do my master's in labor administration. So I remained. There's some things that happened.
Did you get to labor commissioner?
No,
You retired as deputy.
deputy.
Okay.
We had some legal things, but in the courts, but how that went, it went terrible. So sometimes I don't even want to.
You don't want to revisit that,
revisit that.
and that's fine. We're definitely going to respect that, Mr. Williams.
But I must say I enjoy my work and my journey through the public service. I worked in several departments, and I had no problem with any leader of any organization. Sometimes, when you go to places, people will give you a history of that person is this, that person is that. No, I don't know that. Yes, I hear what you say, but I can only learn or know about the person if I am there with him. And if you know what the person's weaknesses, strengths are, you try to bend and suit to what is happening. So I never found myself in any difficulties to any head of department.
Okay, that's excellent. So overall, a good experience within the
Good
government
experience.
service.
Yes.
A little challenge towards the end.
Yes.
But that's all behind you now.
Oh, well,
That's
no,
all behind you.
behind me, but-
You're retired and making the best of the rest of the life that God has given to you.
Yes, exactly.
We have to wrap things up. Mr. Williams, can you believe all this time
All that
passed
time
by
already?
us?
Wow.
I'm going to give you the opportunity as we leave, to share some words of encouragement, wisdom, whatever you may choose, to our audience, our listening audience, our viewing audience, especially as it pertains to recovering from the challenges and the difficulties that life presents.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for being here. And I want to thank all my brethren, the people of Kaliawe, who have supported me over all the years and in my troubles, and they have assisted me greatly on the way. Thanks to them and my family. I know my other families, extended family, I want to thank them also for their support. I know family means a lot. I respect all my family and families, because it is they who are there in times of difficulty. Some people, when things going well, they might be there, but when it gets down to difficult situations in life, it's your family who comes and stands up. So I would encourage people to be loving to your family. We know that sometimes there will be some who can be indifferent, but you have to be there for your family. Also, I believe that let us believe in Yahweh. Let us trust. Let us have that faith. Well, I don't know. You might you might have different beliefs, but however, have faith in the one who is above. That He can change things. Things we find might be impossible, He can make it possible for you. And if you are walking in faith, don't give up. Continue to trust in Yahweh. Believe in Him, because He is the greatest source of life. And according to what Paul said, be content in whatsoever situation you find yourself.
Mr. Lyndell Williams, let me thank you for joining us in the Spotlight radio show tonight. It was an absolute pleasure. By the way, I have dinner for you from Old Stone, the great old house, the finest dining in Dominica. So I hope that you eat at a certain time at night. I hope after all of this talking that you can go home and enjoy your meal. It's already downstairs waiting for you, so we'll make sure that you have that. So thank you again to Steve and his team at the Great Old House is where it came from tonight. So thank you so much for that. And thank you to everyone who tuned in to the program. And we hope that our intentions from the beginning would have turned out to be what we hoped for at the end of this program tonight. This gentleman here is the epitome of strength. I admire him, and I pray that I have the kind of strength that he has when I have to face whatever it is that life throws at me, and for you too, everyone who's tuned in to the program tonight. So thank you, sir. As I mentioned earlier on, our In the Spotlight TV limited series goes live on Saturday, 8 p.m. You can tune in via YouTube or the In the Spotlight Facebook page. And our first guest will be Emmeline Anselm, better known as Emo. So that should be an interesting one that I can tell you it's an interesting one that you definitely want to tune in for. But that's how we wrap it up tonight for the program. Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back here next Monday, God willing, with another guest. Good night, Mr. Williams. It's my pleasure.
We would love to hear from you. If you have